All right, so you're 35, 40 years old. You don't want to be wearing the same stuff that you wore straight out of college, but at the same time, you don't want to be looking like some 25-year-old TikTok fashion influencer, right? So where is the middle ground here? I think it comes down to a handful of swaps that most guys don't even realize that they need. We're gonna cover all those swaps in today's video, so by the end of it, you will have a more relevant style without feeling like you're chasing trends. So as a middle-aged guy, an elder millennial, a 35, 40-year-old, you have to know one thing. It's not about trying to look young. It's about trying to not look stuck. You remember when we were kids, like let's say 1994, 1995, and you had that one friend whose mom looks like she was straight out of a 1980s music video, like she had the teased hair, or maybe she wore like neon clothing, or she had like some crazy harsh makeup on that looks like it was straight from the 80s, but it was like 10 years later. Yeah, that's you if you are wearing low-rise skinny jeans today in 2025. Sorry to say, bro. If you're happy with what you wear right now today, and even though you might have bought these clothes in 2005 or 2015, and you still think, hey, I like these clothes, I look good, I feel good, keep on wearing them. No judgment, that's great, I'm glad you're happy, no problem. But if you're still watching this video, again, there's a good chance that you probably want to refresh your look a little bit. You want to bring it into 2025, but you don't know how to do it without looking too, on trend or in fashion or fashionable, whatever the word is. You don't want to look too much like the guy who's chasing trends. You don't want to look like you're trying too hard or trying to dress young. You just want to look good and sharp and relevant and of the moment and current, right? This video is for you. Again, it's not about a total reset of your wardrobe, right? You don't have to toss out every single item of clothing you have. But I think if you make a few of these tweaks, you will see a huge improvement and you will bring your whole look into this decade. And obviously, like with every fashion or style related video that you find on the internet that's telling you what to wear or what not to wear, I think you should take everything with a grain of salt. You should look at it through the lens, the filter of your own life and say, hey, this applies to me. I'm going to take it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to apply it. Or, hey, this doesn't make sense for me. I'm just going to discard it. I'm going to ignore it. Always look at everything through that lens, and that will serve you best. I'm drinking a Merman IPA, by the way, in case you're curious. Honestly, the biggest giveaway here is fit. I know. Everybody talks about fit. I get it. And you're probably tired of hearing about it, but it's huge. It's important. By the way, you might hear my toddler crying in the background of this video. This is going to be one take. I'm not going to wait for him to stop because he's in a mood. He's sick. Sorry. So if you remember back in like the 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010 era, that was very much Mad Men inspired, right? We were very much all wearing suits, or we wanted to, even though we didn't really have to. Everything was very slim, all everything, all skinny everything. Everything was very fitted and cut and fitted perfectly to your body. In 2025, 15-ish years later, that is not the case. Today, everything is much more relaxed. Everything is much more of that traditional fit. Everything is a little bit looser, a little bit more comfortable. But to be honest, I think that is better. And for us as 40-year-old guys who maybe our bodies are not as like slim and tight as they were 20 years ago, you want something that's a little bit more comfortable. And luckily, that silhouette is in style today. So we're not talking super baggy here. Your jeans still have some shape. They still follow the form of your body. But if you're bending down to pick up your kid, you're not cutting off circulation to your calves. This goes for every garment. So if you're buying new things, you're gonna wanna update the fit of them. And you're gonna wanna find stuff that is a little bit more relaxed, traditional, or straight cut. Another crucial part of this whole style refresh thing for middle-aged dudes in 2025 is thinking about your shoes. Most guys, even today, which is weird, seem to not consider their shoes when putting together an outfit. I see this all the time, even here in New York City. Some guy might have like a pretty sharp look and fit, or stylish or whatever. And I look down and he's wearing shoes that are super dusty and looks like he did yard work in them last weekend. Like, why is that happening? If you're gonna spend a lot of time refreshing your wardrobe, picking out great outfits, you don't wanna skimp on the shoes, right? So here are a few just like high level pointers for what kind of shoes you might want in your closet. I talked about this a million times over the years. You want a pair of white, leather, simple tennis style silhouette, low top sneakers. Super easy. They go with everything. You don't have to wear them all the time, but honestly, they're like a really clean pair of sneakers that you can wear with practically everything from sweats all the way to suits, which is crazy Not many shoes you can do that with. I personally like the Koyo Capri in triple white. Koyo's not the only brand that makes these. Obviously, there are a ton of different brands. Common Projects is still making them. You can probably find cheap versions at like Nordstrom Rack or JCPenney. I don't know where you shop, but you can find a plain white leather sneaker anywhere. If you want one that lasts though, I tend to like the Koyo triple white. I've had mine for years. They're awesome. Other than that, a lace-up boot like a chukka, for example, I think goes really well with casual or smart casual wardrobes. Again, they've been around for decades and they still look good today. You also might want to consider a brown leather loafer, either in suede or leather, dark brown, medium brown. I tend to go with like a medium brown color leather. I think it looks great with everything. Similar to a white leather sneaker. Not as versatile, but it goes with a lot of stuff. And it tends to elevate your outfits a little bit more than a sneaker would. Spears like getting me. I want one. Okay, so as far as like wearing your shoes with your outfits, there are two ways you can go about it, right? You can toddler tantrum. You can either one, match the style or like the level of your outfit. So your shoes will match the style level of what you're wearing. Or you can apply the wrong shoe theory. This essentially means wearing a shoe that is dissimilar in formality level to your outfit. A good example would be like wearing a pair of Chucks with a suit, right? Or wearing a pair of brown leather brogues with jeans. Like you're pairing up shoes and an outfit that are typically not worn together. Do you have to do this? No, but it's just something to think about when you're trying to elevate your style and like look a little bit different, a little bit unique, and look a little bit more intentional, honestly. And honestly, it's actually more comfortable. Like if I'm wearing a suit and if the occasion calls for it, it's not too formal, then I'll throw on a pair of Vans. Like, why not? Or the other way around, maybe I'm just wearing something chill like jeans and a sweatshirt. I might throw on some long wing brogues and then people are like, whoa, that's interesting, that's different. And that's just an example of wrong shoe theory. And it's something to keep in your pocket or your arsenal of like style hacks or tricks to try out when you are getting dressed. Also, I want to mention as a footnote, if you are like a big sneaker guy, for example, I have a client who has like 10 pairs or 15 pairs of Jordans and that's all he wears. If you are a boot guy, like my buddy Nick over at Stridewise, and you have like 10,000 pairs of boots and you wear boots when you go to bed at night, that's totally fine. Like, again, going back to what I said earlier, take every piece of advice that I say or that anyone says about fashion or style and filter it through your own life lens. If this doesn't apply to you, then you don't have to use it. But if it does, great. So if you love boots, if you love sneakers, you can absolutely incorporate that in your everyday wardrobe. And it's still elevating your style because, you know, honestly, what style is personal. And you want it to be indicative of who you are. And you want it to be a good display of what you like and what you care about. And if you have a really strong preference for Jordans because it's part of your lifestyle, or you really just love boots and the craftsmanship that comes with it and the different types of boots that you can wear and different types of leathers, etc., then you should definitely incorporate that. But again, if you're starting from scratch and you have no idea what to wear, you have no preference, and all you're wearing is like your dusty shoes that you do yard work in, or like these weird hybrid Kohan sneaker dress shoe things, let's scratch all that. And here is what I think you should get, which I already mentioned. Again, this is just a suggestion. This is only in my opinion. I think a pair of white leather sneakers, still great today, 15 years later. A pair of dark brown or medium brown suede or leather loafers, super easy, goes with everything, suits to jeans to sweats. Well, not sweats, that's weird. But definitely jeans or suits, trousers, whatever. Loafers work great with that. If that's like a level 1 sort of situation, maybe changing from a white sneaker, let's say you already have that, to maybe like a tan suede trainer, I'm thinking about like the Koyo Monza. This is not sponsored by Koyo, by the way. I know I mentioned Koyo twice already in this shoe segment. I just like their shoes. They're not sponsoring this video. Koyo, if you want to sponsor me, holler at me. Or like a German army trainer, a GAT style sneaker, another great option. I would probably get those 3 to 4 pairs of shoes. What did I say? A white leather sneaker, a more of a trainer style suede sneaker like the Monza or like a GAT style. And then you have like a suede or leather loafer. Then you have like a suede chukka. Boom. 4 shoes, done. They go with everything. That's it. You go into the office, you're going to daycare drop off, you're going on a date night. these shoes will work for all of those situations. Also, you don't want to feel like you're locked into like these basic color combinations, right? I know we all sort of gravitate towards like the navy and white, or the dark jeans and the white shirt, or the medium blue jeans and the light blue button up, or the khaki chinos with the white Oxford cloth shirt, whatever. These color combos work great. They're fine. They're perfect, whatever. But again, if you want to like switch it up a little bit, mastering color or playing with color a little bit is a really good way to step out of that zone of, oh, I got to wear these things. I got to wear these specific color combos. I don't know what else to wear. It's really not that hard. And I'm going to give you a few pointers right here, right now. By the way, while I take a breath here, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button. That helps the channel and helps me out. Thanks. Okay, I've talked about this many times in the past in articles and past videos, but you want to memorize menswear neutrals. I've, over the last 10 or 15 years, have come to this conclusion that these colors work the best with each other and with practically every other color out there. So I'm going to put all the colors right here in front of my face right now. It's right here. Pause for dramatic insertion of colors on top of my face. These colors really do go with everything. They go great with each other. They go great with any like sort of vibrant color or saturated color that you might want to wear. So consider that first. Memorize these colors and use them. They're great. And by the way, color is like a whole thing that we can get into. So if you want me to record a separate video on this, please let me know in the comments below. And I would love to do that if someone's going to watch it. Someone's out there, right? Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully. Okay, so that's step one. Memorize the menswear neutrals and use them. Step two, what I think is helpful is to come up with alternative color pairings that aren't your basics, using the menswear neutral color palette that I just showed you, and like coming up with some color combinations of your own that you might not necessarily see all the time. And that's kind of a way to break out of the mold of like the typical colors that you might always be wearing. And it's going to help feel like, hey, I'm refreshing my look. I'm elevating my style. I'm changing it up just a little bit, still in my comfort zone, but like allowing me to like branch out and like try new things. Here's something else I've been thinking about lately too. I have talked about dark blue denim a lot. Like this is like the rigid, unwashed, raw denim that you might see. Like if you're gonna wear jeans to the office, you're gonna wanna wear a pair of like rigid, raw, dark blue denim. So yes, over the past decade and a half, I've talked about this a lot. But lately what I've been wearing, because my style is more casual nowadays, I wear a washed black pair of denim a lot, more than my dark blue denim. I do feel like dark blue just tends to feel a little bit more dressy, and I don't dress up a lot anymore because I'm 41 and I work from home. I have kids. I'm chasing them around. I'm going to the park. I'm not going to the office, so I don't need to wear that all the time. Washed black denim is essentially black denim, but it's not super inky or dark. It's a little bit faded. It looks like it's been broken in, and I love this color denim. I feel like it goes with pretty much everything, similar to a pair of navy pants. I've worn them with not only black shoes and white shoes, but I've worn them with all colors of brown leather or brown suede. I think it looks great. Also looks great with navies, burgundies, olives or army greens, tan, camel, light blue, dark blue. I already said navy. It really does go with everything. I think it's a solid pair of casual jeans to own. Thank me later. Another thing to think about is texture and fabric. You can really vary how your outfits look and your overall style in general if you incorporate different types of textures in your wardrobe. Consider like a corduroy fabric. Consider a heavyweight flannel, a lightweight linen. Think about how those are very different. So consider texture and fabric when you are thinking about how to elevate your wardrobe and how to dress more interestingly in 2025. All this to say, you want a little bit more visual interest. It looks more intentional when you play with color, when you play with fabric. And it's not just about the clothes themselves, but it's about all of these things intertwined. Hopefully my overarching, think about color, think about fabric, blah, blah, blah. And also like my quick tips on like menswear neutrals, washed black denim. Hopefully all of these help you. I know I don't want to be too like 30,000 foot level view of improving your style. I also want to give you like quick tips to like actually try. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully that's a good balance. Another thing that's worth thinking about is grooming. Your haircut, what does it look like? Do you go into a barber and like not really have any idea what you want and just let them go wild? Or are you more intentional? All that's required of you is being a little bit more intentional and thinking through how you want to present yourself, and maybe think about what I want to try, what might look good or not look good on me, and just doing a little bit of research before you go in to get the haircut. or before you go in to get the shave or whatever it is. Another thing that is worth thinking about is your accessories, right? Because you can have your outfit, you can have your clothes, but how are you accessorizing? I wear a necklace. I usually have some rings. I have bracelets on, and I feel like they are kind of the extra 10% of a look. And the cool thing is, like, you can wear a really plain outfit. Like, I could wear navy chinos and a white t-shirt tucked in, and I can have like awesome jewelry. And that is what is going to take my outfit or my look to the next level. It's going to show that, hey, I'm intentional. I think about what I put on, and this is what I'm wearing today. Like, and so I think you want to consider, your accessories, your jewelry. I also think about like bags. If I'm going to a co-working space to work, I think about the bags I'm carrying. All these things add to your overall look that you might want to consider when you are doing this elevating your style, refresh type thing that we're talking about today. Plus, I mean, if your bag has more mystery stains than your toddler's t-shirt, it's definitely time for an upgrade anyway. So again, all of this is really it's just evolution, right? We are not 18, 20, 22 anymore. We're not like, I can just wear whatever I want and I can chalk it up to being experimental because I'm young and I'm trying fashion-y things out. We're too old for that shit. If you're watching this video up until this point, there's a good chance that like, hey, I don't know what I'm wearing and I don't know what I'm doing. And I just want to look good. I want to look my age. I want to look current today, but I don't want to look super fashion forward. I don't want to look super trendy because that would make me feel really uncomfortable. That would make me feel like I'm trying too hard. And I get that. And I think that these tips and these things I talked about today, I hope they will help you get to that point and at least like help you take a few steps, that are closer to this goal that you want. You can listen to me because I've been doing this since I was 20. Like, I've been paying attention to this since I was fucking 5, bro. I've cared about what I wore since I was little. And I still care about it today. This has been my thing for the last 15 years. And I really care about helping guys figure this out. Just remember, it's not about chasing TikTok trends. It's not about, buying a whole new wardrobe. You only need a few tweaks, and start with the tweaks that I mentioned in this video. That'll take you a long ways. If you're not sure where to go next, just check out this video and I think it'll help.